Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Queen's Wish. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as I think I open the gates of Tarmana. Potentially. Not that. That bit was not. Barracks upstairs authorized non-Owen only. Owen can't be trusted, says that slaver. Oh, right. I forgot about that. Last episode we set off a bomb upstairs. Time is up. The oil jar explodes. It was many of them, actually. This sets off the jars next to it. The combined blast sets off the jars down the hall. The wall of fire roars through the upper floor of the complex. The walls and ceiling shake. For a moment, you think it will all collapse on you. Then things quiet down. It's scorching hot. Smoke and dust are everywhere, but you're alive. You hear the creak and wail of twisting metal. The enormous iron gates of Tarmana break loose from the tracks and crash into the floor. The Owen will help. What? The Owen will be able to breach this fortification now with your help. Thank you very much. And everybody disappeared. That might have something to do with the fact that the Owen... Oh, no, the other way around. The fact that the Owen are going to be able to breach this fortification might have something to do with the fact that everybody disappeared. Because, you know, they did. And, is there a treasure for me? There is treasure for me. Iron bars? I don't need those, I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping, because we were taking our sweet time in regards to finishing the game, I'm hoping that I'm not going to need the green potions, the whatever they're called, these things, the Quicksilver, because I've had like 10 more than I have right now, and I'm not gaining more, so it's just bad. It's just, we're in a bad way. We're in a really bad way. Anyway, it's good, all the things considered, despite the bad way that we're in, because we're getting out of here. So I need to go to Crossing Keep so I can regenerate health. The calamity has now happened, which I was almost certain hadn't happened before, but that is the confirmation. I don't know why it took so long, but it's fine, unless it was a new one. There's a group of... Oh, no, I know your ways. And now we can come back over here and tell them that I have murdered all of the... Well, I didn't murder them, but they disappeared, so it's sort of like murdering them. All the Masha up in the gates that are not gates. It's a pass that has gates, but still, it's not the gates of the city. Anyway, we're good. Hey, Tarmana, I forgot your name. Speaker Tarmana walks over to speak with you. The hall goes quiet. All eyes are on him. The rebels are coiled like springs, ready to again. I've talked about that, right? Because springs are not coiled. That's not what springs are. I realize that, you know, coiled springs are coiled, but they're called coiled springs, or just coils in general. Coils are coiled, but they're called that because there are many types of springs. I talked about this before. Spring is just something that goes back into shape. Anything can be a spring. A coil can go back into shape. It also may not go back into shape once you stretch it or squish it, because if it's not a spring, it's not going to do that. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. Also, coiled springs are not the oldest type of springs, and they wouldn't have... In this world, there wouldn't be coiled springs, because making coiled springs is really difficult. I'm actually not sure how they do that. I wonder how they do that. They would have... So, the way a spring is done, or rather spring steel, because anything can be a spring, even like elastic or cloth can be made into a spring, because a spring is just a type of mechanism. It's not really like an object. It's like it's like a wheel. A wheel isn't necessarily an object. Anything can be a wheel as long as it's wheel shaped, as long as it functions as a wheel. You know what I mean? Anyway, the point is, spring. The most common way of doing it is with metal, spring metal specifically, spring iron or spring steel rather. It has to be steel. And the way they do it is they make steel and then they temper it to a certain degree. I don't fully know how it is, but it is tempered in a certain way. And what I mean by temper is heat it up and then cool down, and then heat it up and cool down into certain temperatures. And what that ends up happening, or what ends up happening with that, is that the steel, where before it could be malleable or brittle, depending on what type of steel it is, not very malleable because it's steel, but so it's pretty brittle in the first place. But the point is, it now becomes malleable in a way that doesn't make it, what's the word? Work harden. So the problem, the biggest reason why a spring works as a spring in the modern world, although it can be a one-use spring if you want it, but the biggest reason why it works as a spring is that it doesn't work harden. What it means to work harden is, let's see, if you've ever held, well, copper work hardens, for example, aluminum work hardens as well. So if you've ever tried to break a piece of steel by like bending it over and over again, what you're doing there is you're working the steel. You're heating it up. It's heating it up, but it's not really the heating it up that is working it. It's just the fact that you're changing its shape. And what you're doing is you're making it harder by doing that. But of course, the relationship between harder and brittle is a direct relation. So the harder it is, the more brittle it is. And that's why it breaks when it gets so hard that it actually breaks. It's like glass. Glass is very hard, and it's also very brittle. You can't bend glass, obviously. But so the point is, a spring can bend, but it doesn't work harden. And that's because it's tempered in a certain way. And the first few springs made out of spring metal are just basically sheets or bars of metal. They're used in like ox carts and even cars. It just that's how they made springs. They just have a bar of metal that would bend, and then it would come back to the same shape, and that's how it is. And those are relatively easy to make, although they do require certain. Well, they require you to be able to make steel for one, which is difficult in and of itself, but it's possible. It's been possible for like 2,000 years in real history, so it's totally okay for this game to have that. The way they make the coiled springs, though, I believe, is by completely melting the steel and then forming and then making it into a wire in the shape of a coil, and then they would have to temper the coil after it's formed. And that's really difficult. That's really difficult to do. I'm not sure if that's how they make it, though. So maybe there's an easier way, and they would have coiled springs. But, yeah. Anyway. The gates of the Tarmana Pass have been destroyed. Not destroyed, but, you know, whatever. I didn't see them either, but there is. Now, this gets everyone's attention. Speaker Tarmana looks at you and clears his throat a little. The rebel... Why not completely? The rebels look at you with respect. No. Fear. Tarmana suddenly looks very much like a peasant out of his depth. He says, "We have heard rumors. What did you do to the gates?" "I blew them up." "I see. You snuck into the fortress. You fought the finest warriors of the Masha. You defeated them and you destroyed the fortress?" "Yes." "Haven is as mighty as we were told. You can save us." The other rebels nod. "It is true. With you on our side, the Masha will never hurt us again. We will be your vassals. As a token of our gratitude, you can have full access to this fortress." Okay, let's sign a treaty. That's what I'm really here for. There's a long delay while the Owen write and rewrite parts of the treaty. They're making changes and fixing typos with quill pens even as it is carried over to your table. Hopefully not as is it carried over, because that would be really silly. Because they're... whatever. The logistics of it. You look it over. The treaty. For all of the addenda and errata, it is more or less the same as your original treaty of vassalage with the Masha. Okay. You sign the page. Several more copies are hastily made, and you sign them too. Tarmana isn't sure what to do. Someone whispers something in his ear. He slaps the table with his hand. "I formally declare resolution of negotiation with a foreign power." The Owen cheer. "Only one more small gesture is required, Prince." "Yes, I know that you require many things." "Go to the Vulgates. Tell your general, Acula, what has happened here today. Send her into the Vol with our permission. It is time to win this war." And the Owen cheer again, and the audience is over for today. Yeah. Success. Also calamity. But we don't worry about the calamity, because we have no idea whatsoever even what it is. Because the word is weird. It's like the doom. It's like, yeah, we know what the doom could be, but it's still vague as hell. You can make it up however you like. It could be a person, it could be a disease, it could be just a general state of affairs. Or the year 2020. It's whatever. It's fine. Anything can be the doom. The calamity is the same. Anything can be the calamity. Oscar is still here, so, you know, how bad could it be, really? General Acula. General Acula did... I wonder if Tarmana treated the general as a him again. General Acula sits at her desk. Yes, she does. So I'm ready to give you your orders. General Acula grins, eager with anticipation. The treaty is in place, she asks. Apparently she's a seer or something. The defenses of the unfortunate side have been reduced. Question mark. Then we have action at last, she says. Exclamation mark. I'm not sure what she's going on about. I have no idea what she's talking about. This laziness has been slowly corrupting us. I have zero clue what any of what she's saying means. The treaty is in place. That bit I know. The defenses of the unfortunate side... The unfortunate side? What is that? Are you talking about your ass or something? Oh, my unfortunate side is my back, you know, because I'm flat or something. I don't know. It's, you know what I mean? It's like the unfortunate side. It's my right side. I look very bad from the right, but from the left, I'm nice. Anyway, whatever. We are ready to end this war, and I'm sure the people of the Vol are too. Where do I send your warriors? Launch an assault on Thablan. Help the Owen win their freedom. It will be done, she says. The Owen will be free. My experience tells me that there will be a time of great chaos in the vault. Shut up. You're a slaver sympathizer. I remember what you said. So whatever, your experience means nothing. Although it is probably true in this case. But anyway, the fact that she's bringing it up is telling. Anyway, the Owen will have a lot of grudges. Yes, the grudges of the enslaved is really what I should be. Well, actually, wait. She's talking about the Masha. That's why she's talking about chaos. I thought we were just gonna kill them because, you know, it doesn't matter what the grudges are if there's nobody to aim the grudges at. Anyway, a lot of reprisals will happen. Yeah, she's definitely talking about the Masha. Apparently, we're not gonna kill the Masha. Anyway, we will try to keep the robbery low. It's not robbery. It's retribution. It's what's the word? It's retribution. It's there's a word for it. There's a freaking word for it that matters in this particular case. Come on. Reparations is what that is. It's not robbery. But a lot of our supplies will be lost. Oh wait, you mean our supplies? How is that? How does that have anything to do with the Owen and the robbery? Anyway, also they are sure to pay us less tribute. For now, however, we will get to work. You have done your mother proud. I will let her know that the Vol is our vassal again at last. And the conversation finally ends. The camp is bursting to life. Soldiers are packing up their gear and chatting with excitement. Cody is digging into supplies. General Acula is barking orders. Soon, small groups of Haven's finest soldiers will enter the Vol, ready to train and support your chosen side. You have laid the groundwork, now they will win your war. By training and supporting them, I think what the game is saying is, don't expect immediate changes to happen, because... Hey, Cody, do I need to talk to you? Cody speaks with you as he sorts through a crate of goods. How else can I help, Prince? Your regal rank doesn't bother him as long as he can focus on his work. I don't need to deal with the Vol anymore. They are our vassals. All right, I will send our soldiers to do what is needed. Thank you, Prince. I won't waste your time anymore. That is the game telling me that I don't need to bother going back to Thablan. Obviously, I will bother going back to Thablan because I want to put it to the test. But because the... Is it the game telling me that? No, it felt like it, but it isn't. As you walk through the gates of Thablan... You liar. These aren't the gates of Thablan. You told me specifically to open the gates of Thablan over at the pass. Anyway, the people and guards recognize you. They frown and turn away. You are allowed into the city. They won't attack you. They will allow you to wander. Perhaps they hope you will change your mind and save the Masha. Not likely now, but hope can be seductive. Whatever. It's fine. So, yeah, it is the game telling me... I'm just going back and forth a lot on this. It is the game telling me that it's not going to have any change in the world, which is a shame. It really should just... Well, I understand. It's an indie game. It requires a lot of time to make basically 2 areas, because you need to now have a new area with the NPCs that came from Draco or something. But no, what the game has just told us is, you know, they're going to train now, come back in a couple of years. Actually, come back in the ending cutscene. It's not a cutscene. It's going to be like vignettes. But that's what that is. I think, I might be wrong on this, but I think we've done everything. Did we lose things? No, we did not. That is good. I think we are going to finish the game. Sai, says Stonehouse. Miranda... oh, she is saying something new. How fares our battalion? We are well, Prince. When we entered the Vol, we had the occasional skirmish. Most of the time, the Vols stay in the mountains and deal with their problems themselves. What do you need? Lots of chaos in the Vol. The Owen are out settling scores. Lots of vengeance against Masha. Things are sorting themselves out after the changes we made, but it's a bit bloody. I think, tumult is the best word. Yeah, it's better than slavery. Ransack the states. It's the word that I said before that I keep forgetting. My God. Reparations. People in stylish clothes. It's such a goofy line, and I have only read the beginning. People in stylish clothes hiding and starving in dusty valleys. Okay, it is goofy, but also, what the heck are you talking about? The stylish clothes? Why does it matter? I know exactly why it matters, but the way it's phrased is weird. What she's saying is, rich ex-rich people. You know what I mean? People that used to be rich, now they're not rich anymore. Yeah, it's just, what else is going to use? General Acula, she says, wants to help keep the violence under control. She wants to put soldiers to protect travelers and innocents, helping refugees sort themselves out, stopping the more brutal gangs of bandits. She needs your permission. What's your thoughts on this? Although I know you well enough to know where this is going. She says, well, it would save many lives. I think Haven could prevent a lot of carnage. However, this would spread our soldiers out and make them vulnerable. We would be prone to more robberies of our goods. It depends, I suppose, on how much Haven should surrender in wealth and soldiers to protect our vassals. You mean spend, not surrender. Although, in this case... because otherwise you would see our wealth and soldiers rather than in, because it's spend in wealth. Anyway, or off. What sort of resources will this cost? The soldiers are already there. It would not cost you extra gold or resources. However, when our soldiers protect innocents, they will spend less time protecting our caravans. There may be more theft. Oh, I thought there wouldn't be more theft if I didn't send the soldiers. Which I wouldn't send. Also, the protecting of the innocents. They didn't protect the innocents before, so... yeah, whatever. Well, and also, these are not innocents. Why does the general want this? I'm gonna choose not to read any of this. The narrator's lines. I will read Miranda's lines. I would never question a general's decision, she says. Unwise... no, wait. That would be unwise, she says. However, I think she has found the suffering troubling. Okay. It is the way of Haven to let our vassals settle their own problems. Except, it isn't. But what I mean to say is, don't send soldiers. Rusty, Miranda, is disciplined enough not to let any opinions on a prince's decision slip through. She says, understood. Our soldiers will stay safe and productive for Haven. General Acula will have your decision by nightfall. Oh, wait, not Rusty. This isn't Miranda. This isn't her first name or anything. Rusty is the, we have not been talking to Miranda. We've been talking to Rusty, who is a person that was over here. And that's why I was ready for a dialogue that would end immediately, but apparently, yeah. It's fine. We weren't talking to Miranda. We were talking to somebody else, but it doesn't really matter. So there are no more profitable missions. I think that's done. Stonehouse. Any messages? Yes. Let's find out. Your mother's voice comes out of the portal. She sounds very tired and very worried. Jeff? Jeff, are you there? I need to talk to you. I need a report. I can't imagine what it is about. Yes, child, I got the reports. Many. All at once. Yet I wanted to hear it from your lips. I wanted to hold on to hope. Oh, right, it's the Calamity. Are you referring to the Calamity? There's a long silence, and finally she says, I had thought the madness was over. It's not the madness, Mother. It's the Calamity. You're old age. You're getting senile. I thought it would not return to destroy our work. I thought this wound had healed. A wound? Why don't you just call it the name that it has? What? I have tried to rule wisely. It is hard. You have no idea. I have only had 3 failures. Losing Sacramentum to the Calamity is one of them. And the others? Hush, we will not speak of them now. And now this failing has returned. The sadness and confusion in your mother's voice is unfamiliar and unsettling. I was so much younger then. I thought the vassals were playthings. I visited Sacramentum. I was so arrogant. I thought no power could touch me, and Sacramentum has powers. There is something I must say. Yes? There are deep powers in Sacramentum. I thought you would just be fighting our wayward vassals. The protections I placed on you are enough to handle that. But the Calamity's mighty magic. I am not sure that you can be kept safe. Maybe you should not fight this battle. Well... I don't want to fight this, I just want to come home, really. What I want by choosing that option is I want her to contradict herself immediately. Because she says, maybe you shouldn't fight this battle. Remember that she just said, maybe you shouldn't fight this battle. Let's see what she says. The queen sounds a little disappointed. I'm glad you agree. I just wish perhaps you didn't need to be so quick about it. Still, a full Prince of Haven is more important than mere Sacramentum. Be cautious. I'm sorry, child. I'm tired, and this is... I was sure that she was gonna say that I have to fight it. But, yeah. I don't know... I don't know what to do. Or what I need to do, rather. I imagine I'm gonna have another call. I really didn't expect that one to be about Sacramentum, or about the Calamity. I do have another call. You hear Sutter's voice when you approach the portal. You don't recognize it at first. There is no jollity, no false cheer. He is concerned. I have never given him any voice similar to jollity and false cheer. But apparently that's what he sounded like. So, brother, it sounds like you have stumbled into some magic. Big magic, bad magic. Your words are very fancy, brother. You are very well educated. We should have seen this coming. I don't know why we didn't. I guess we thought a spell that strong, something that could rot a whole continent, could never happen again. And Mother didn't seem worried, so we... you talked to Mother about it. Yeah, we had a productive talk. She thought so too, but you couldn't miss talking to you, comfort her. I am glad. This comforted her, sorry. I'm glad. This calamity, this level of magic, you don't have to be the one to face it. Well, yes, it's time for me to come home. There's another pause. Yes, it will be difficult. She will be disappointed. Still, you won't be punished. Nobody will hold it against you. You should just leave Sacramentum be. It sounds like a hole anyway. You hear shouting, several people. You don't recognize the voices, and then silence. Do I need to talk to you, Miranda? No. I really wish that it, you know, that the conversations didn't end always like that. Maybe half the time they ended like that. That would be interesting. Just half the time would be already bad, but every single time they end like that. You hear a voice. It's your mother. She sounds different, exhausted, confused. She shouts, Jeff, are you there? I thought I heard Jeff. Oh, this cursed thing, are you there? I'm gonna stay silent. The shouting continues, then you hear someone speaking quietly to her, then silence. You... What the heck? What have I just done? I actually probably shouldn't have done it like that. Let's see. No, this is my way out, I think. Yeah. Maybe she's gonna call again. Why would it give me the option to stay silent? Obviously, I'm gonna take it, but it didn't reward me with nice things. Reward me for my foolish options. Anyway, we're out of time for the day, so for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Queen's Wish. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.